Oh, baby. Talk about a wild finish. Hey. See what I did there? It's another post game show of the Curfew Boys podcast, live on YouTube and Twitter, also known as X. If you're joining us from either or, thank you so much. Good evening. Happy Tuesday evening, January 20th already. My goodness, time flies. Thanks once again for tuning in. Really appreciate seeing you guys. Canadiens, they win a crazy finale against the Minnesota Wild. Uh, one of the pretty much one of the best teams in the NHL this season. So can't wait to get this show started with you, Chris. I am also Sammy. Hey now,
Hey now,
how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. The Canadians got some justice bestowed on them tonight.
That was nuts. That was a roller coaster of definitely a roller coaster of emotions. I mean, I'm sure we've seen worse than this, but like, my God, there were a few things, few calls, few plays. You're like, what the hell, man? But we're gonna get into that. Um, Before we get things started, we're going to start off this episode by just thanking our sponsors real quick. I'll start with my buddy Mike in RDP. Mike's Barbecue Rub creates his own seasons and spices for anything that could be thrown on the barbecue. Your meats, your fish, your vegetables, your chicken. If it could be thrown on the grill, you definitely need to order Mike's Barbecue Rub. He also uses his spices to season his kettle cooked chips, which are absolutely amazing. He ships anywhere and everywhere in Canada. Give my boy Mike some love on Instagram and TikTok. Visit his website for more information on his products, www.mikesbarbecuerub.com for more information. Folks, after a win like tonight, don't ever forget to rub your meat. This episode is also sponsored by Les Délices Lafrenesse, some of the best cakes, pastries, cannolis in the Montreal area, especially pastries such as Zeppelis during the month of March, San Giuseppe. They got 6 locations: Rosemere, Brossard, Saint Julie, Montreal West, Point Claire, and our hometown of Saint Leonard. Give them a follow and give them some love on Instagram. Visit their website, www.lesdeliceslafrenette.com, for more information. They are simply delicious, simplement délicieux. And last but not least, to our main cat, Sunil from the very popular Habs Cave on Instagram and TikTok, who was once again at the game tonight. Our boy Zook was actually there tonight, so
Yep.
he caught himself a very good game. But Sunil is an awesome man, an awesome human being, an awesome Montreal Canadiens fan. If you haven't seen his content before, I highly suggest you go check it out. It is literally a Habs fan's dream to have a man cave like the Habs Cave. Content regarding memorabilia, anything you could think of, for sure he's got in his basement from top to bottom. There's literally no gyprock left on his walls because it's covered by just Montreal Canadiens memorabilia. So give our boy Sunil some love. He's on a great guy, great member of the Montreal Canadiens community, and I'm sure he loved this game tonight. Let's get right into it, folks. Let's say hi to everybody that's here. We'll say hi to our boy Rob. Let's go. He's definitely excited. Yeah, how can you not be excited when the Montreal Canadiens, the youngest team in the league, beats one of the best teams in the league? Final score of 4-3. So, sorry about that. Little technical difficulties. Leave it up to Cole Caufield to just
Oh, we're losing you, Sam. Here,
like a little
you're
maybe
f-
moment. Maybe, like I said, technical difficulties. I don't know if I'm back yet. I don't know if you hear me.
you just
You hear
came
me now?
back, but you said leave it up to Cole Caulfield, and then it froze.
Okay, well, here, let's. I'll change computers or whatever if I have to. If technical difficulties keep happening, we apologize, folks. But leave it up to Cole Caulfield to end it in dramatic fashion. 15 seconds remaining. When he got the puck, or when the puck was coming to him, and I saw him wind up, there's a little part of me that, like, kind of, you're anticipating something big out of a Cole Caulfield shot. Wow. What a shot that was. That was absolute beauty. He knows, not only does he know how to score, he just knows this season how to really light it up, man. 25th goal of the season. in front of Bill Guerin too.
Yeah.
Oh, that must feel good. That
Oh,
must
yeah.
feel good. Go, Chris.
Well, you took one of my points. I'm gonna rapid fire these. I think I'll pretty much set the agenda maybe for some topics of conversation. But it was nice. First off, first win against Minnesota in 10 tries. Took the 10th try to finally beat them, and of course, in dramatic
Oh my
fashion.
god, it's true, huh? Yeah.
When we talk
Yeah.
about dramatic fashion, the refs had or played a big part in this game. I
Mhm.
do not think it favor the Montreal Canadiens. I think all of us as Habs fans got to see one of the worst calls, tripping calls that is, against Lane Hudson, a pure ghost call. So the refs, the
Yeah,
refs
that
as a
blue
whole
line. That freaking blue
well,
line.
yeah, the blue line with the, invisible tape or glue or what, I don't know
It
what,
just
but
left a banana peel on there.
to continue on, Demidov and Hudson, I think we're also
Oh,
looking at a team with one of the most similar comparables in
mhm.
Kaprizov and Hughes.
I love
So
it.
it's
Love it.
so
Yeah.
that's something to look into. You said the Bill Guerin, both Caulfield and Hudson, nice little message.
Mhm.
Struble, not my favorite outing, and Kirby Dach for a man who's been out for 2 months, not a bad look. Not great, but
Yeah,
not a
not
bad
great.
look at all.
I couldn't agree more. I really thought I thought he got a little bit more engaged in the third period. Obviously, the first period, you come off that fractured foot injury. He's for sure probably nervous, shaking the rust off. And like as the game went on, I thought he was a little better. He made he made like this one deke out of nowhere in front of the net in the defensive zone. Like he toe drag deked the crap out of I forgot who it was. Obviously, a Minnesota player. So what I mean. I think with Kirby Dach, it's got to come down to confidence, and I think that's a spark by getting an opportunity to play with Suzuki and Caufield on the top line. Uh, and he's back on the power play too, which is a good thing. This again though. It's if let's say Alexandre Texier doesn't go down with an injury, he's day to day. Like I think Kirby Dach comes back, but who comes out at this point? Where do you put Kirby Dach if he is coming in anyways? So you know what I mean? It's the ongoing questions regarding this team as the guys keep coming back. Patrick Laine, I'm curious to see if his timeline is a lot sooner than expected because he was supposed to come back the end of February, around February 28th. I remember seeing, but he's skating with the team, regular practice jerseys. So you got your goalies are back, your Doc is back, Liney's going to come back, Evans is back. Then the last player to come back is Alex Newhook in the month of March. So like I think for Kirby Dach, this is a time for him to be like, okay, like man, we're overloaded on the depth chart here. I need to really step it up as fast as possible without risking another injury, but I need to step it up and really show that, I belong. Hey, you're looking for a top line winger. Maybe I could be that guy. You guys wanted me at center. Look what Oliver Kapanen's doing at center. We've been saying this for months now. I just want to go to Oliver Kapanen. Had he scored that demi dog toe drag 2-on-1, that would have been highlight of the night. And you can't blame Kapanen because it's and you can't blame
Mhm.
Demidov either. I'm gonna sound like it is, but I'm not. Like he made the toe drag deke and just wanted to get it to Kapanen. Unfortunately, the pass goes to Kapanen skates. There's not much he could do there, but Kapanen throws the puck back in front of the net, open net. Demidov misses. I think Slavkovsky missed too. That whole sequence of events, you're there like, oh my god, this line, this literal kid line, they're amazing. But no, on the overall, I really, really liked how just how they kept with it. How the Canadians kept with it despite adversity from the refs tonight wasn't their night. It really, really, really wasn't their night. But the Canadians kept with it. They never let go of the gas pedal, and they're facing, like I said, a very, very excellent Minnesota Wild team. veteran team too. A lot of guys there. Your Tarasenko's, your Folignos, obviously your Kaprizovs and your Hughes there. But I got to give full credit to Wallstedt though, man. What a goalie!
Yeah.
What a goalie! Like we hear about him. We don't get to see much Minnesota games, but man, this kid is solid, dude. Wow,
Yep.
beyond impressed.
Yeah. No, I think that was a debate like where Demidov versus Wallstead, and I think the advantage tonight went to Demidov. And I mean, without further ado, kind of like what I said, the Demidov and Hudson, I think those two players kind of carried the load significantly.
Hmm.
I know Caulfield
Big
had
time.
the goal at the end. Hudson got yet another point on the
Yep.
night with the pass, secondary assist, nevertheless. But even like there are a lot of compliments to be given to both Kaprizov and Hughes, Quinn Hughes, that is.
Hmm.
I would nevertheless just looking at both Hudson and Demidov, I don't think they look too much of a step behind either of their respective counterparts, if you will, meaning Kaprizov versus Demidov and Hughes versus Hudson. I think they were very, very comparable. Now, the
Yep.
second
Big
look
time.
that has to be given is how old are they? How much experience do these other guys have in the league? The
Jesus
Montreal
Christ,
Canadiens,
unreal, man.
the like, it's just to say, like, you look at the goal that Lane Hudson scored, and I think every single person, I don't care who you are, unless you're Lane Hudson, I don't think that that anybody knew the puck was gonna be getting sent over to Lane Hudson. What a sell, head locked in, no look pass, one-time shot, like, these 2, the chemistry is already setting in, love to see it, but, like, the plays that were executed, like you said, the unfortunate miss by Kapanen, who I don't think was expecting the toe drag pass, but like Demidov and Hudson truly did carry the play. And it's a beautiful, beautiful. I mean, if you look how dominant Minnesota is as a team right now, and
Hmm.
you look at the Montreal Canadiens and take those 2 as the foundation, I think all the supporting players, that being Suzuki, Caufield, insert Gooley, insert any other name that you want to,
Hmm.
Slavkovsky evidently, but the future is very bright once again. We keep repeating that, but it's just a great comparable because if we're seeing where Minnesota is in the stands right now and we're seeing these comparables, I think Minnesota is a very comparable team to us and it's kind of a snapshot of the future of what's to come because our star players, our superstar players are very similar to their respective players. So all that to say is just what a treat it was tonight to see those two play and I think both of them, again, at the end of the day, they had the advantage on Minnesota's 2 superstars.
They're pretty much neck and neck in terms of record. Look, I'm on NHL.com right now. I don't know if it's been updated. The score has, but I don't know if the standings have. What I have here right now, Minnesota in 51 games, 28-14-9 with 65 points. The Canadians 28-15-7 with 63. Now, if this hasn't been updated yet, the Canadiens have 29 will have 29 wins and 65 points. Like I said, I'm not 100% certain if the standings are updated, but pretty much they're right there within each other. Uh, I'm so glad you mentioned Demidov and Hudson, but I really thought Demidov just sort of carried this team on his shoulders tonight. Like he was full on engaged. Like there's games where you notice him here and there, and then sometimes not that he disappears. It's just it's a couple of shifts afterwards. It just didn't work for him. Okay, on to the next one. This game, every shift he was on the ice, you noticed him, and I really think he wanted to impress Kaprizov, who, if everybody remembers, at that interview at the at the NHL combine interview, excuse me, who's the one player Demidov said he could compare himself to? He
I'll give
says,
you
"I
a
think."
hint. He lose tonight.
Oh my god, you just gave me an idea. Okay, but there you have it. I really think I truly believe Demidov, like, maybe maybe at a subconscious level, he really wanted to show Kaprizov, hey, man, like, yeah, yeah, I love you, buddy, but I'm coming after you. And that's what he did tonight. You mentioned the pass to Hudson. Ivan Demidov is literally going to be the master in the art of deception for the game of hockey. If you think he's going to shoot, he's going to pass. If you think he's going to pass, he's going to shoot. And I'll admit this straight up. That play, I was yelling at my TV to shoot the goddamn puck. And I was yelling, shoot. He I don't even know how the hell he was winding up. He was standing still. He had all the time in the world to go make a coffee and then come back and just slide passes laterally to Lane Hudson, and Lane Hudson rips it, baby. That was beautiful. That was poetry in motion. You couldn't ask for a better play than that, in my
Would
opinion.
would you not say? And I think that's a great example of it. I think it goes beyond the shadow of a doubt now. That is, I don't want to say physical, but visual representation
Mm-hmm.
of NHL players starting to give Demidov that space. Kaprizov gets that space.
Probably, yeah,
Kucherov gets
probably
that space.
the
Like
respect, yeah.
the respect and kind of backing off at the risk of humiliation. And guess what? They backed off and they were still humiliated, which is a great thing for us as fans.
Mhm.
But it's what you're saying. The wind up and the like. Two guys just laid down.
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
sure
It
that it was gonna
froze.
be a
Yeah,
shot. They were
yeah.
just they froze. He completely froze them, and he could have looked around, waved to the crowd, and then made the pass practically. But yeah, that space is starting to be given more and more to Demidov.
Oh, 1,000%. But he's so skilled that the defending players have no choice but to give him that respect. So it's beautiful to see. And yeah, I don't know who was it I saw on Twitter. Um, it was some hockey page or somebody's page. Anyways, he said this Demidov and Hudson duo is ridiculous, and they're only 2021. Like, are you kidding me? No, Jimmy, you're never late to the party, bud. Welcome, welcome. It's good seeing you.
Hey, Jimmy. Well, when you said it, like you said it earlier. Demidov
Hmm.
carried this game. He's 20. He has no
Yeah,
business doing so. It's and like I said, it's only gonna get better. Look how long it took Slav, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna take as long as Slavkovsky to really get that comfortable, if you will, to dominate in the NHL. But nevertheless, it's just he's only gonna get better. Every single one of these guys is only gonna get better. And again, it's hard not to daydream, especially after games like
it's
today
tough.
where the stars
It's
stood
tough.
on the future superstars stood on their head. And they're if they're not arguably superstars as it stands.
Well, to me, it's something that we all know is that the Canadiens are the first team to have 5 players with 40 points. But the most encouraging thing about those stats is that it's all of their core guys that are locked up for years now, save Demidov, which you know is going to happen. You know, at the end of this contract, Ken Hughes is going to extend him before the new CBA kicks in, so he's going to want to sign him for 8 years instead of 7. So that, like, are you kidding me? That is the most encouraging thing we as Habs fans want to see since this rebuild started. It's those guys. It's Suzuki, Caufield, Hudson, Demidov, and Slav now. So I like this comment here from Jimmy. Is it fair to say Carrier is over the Wilson hit? What a stud! I think Carrier all of a sudden thinks he's Bobby Orr of Quebec or something. I don't know what the heck is going on with this guy, but I love it. I absolutely love it. He looks great. He looks great, man. Since he plays with Hudson, I think him too. He found a whole new level of confidence. He got to give the guy credit, man.
Is the Bobby Orr of Quebec Raymond Bourque?
Okay, fair enough. Yes, fair enough. Yeah, that's a fair point. Oh,
Oh, no. We're
can't think of
losing you
anything. I
again,
just
man.
went straight to Bobby Orr, but Alexandre Carrier is what about now?
You're back, you're back, you're good. Sorry
What about
about
now?
that.
I'm
You're
back.
good.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No. No. This is fan freaking tastic. Been dealing with these issues for the past couple of days, but we'll get on with it. No, Carrier looked amazing. Who else did I want to mention? Philip Dano. Gotta feel happy for the guy.
First goal?
Finally, finally gets a goal. Uh, First goal of the season, which is still kind of hard to believe that he hasn't has a goal yet. But to do it at home, you could tell this is it's a it's same Dano but different. Does it it feels weird a bit, no?
When I look at Phil Danault, like, I don't see him the same way. Like you said, same but
Mm,
different, like, he doesn't have the same responsibility whatsoever, and I
yeah.
think that's why it kind of flies underneath the radar in a certain sense that he's picked up a few points here and there, but it's not gonna be his responsibility. It's just at this point in time, rather than depending on a guy like him to either make the necessary play to come back in the game, you name it, like he once did, well, now it's the cherry on top of the sundae kind of thing when he
Mhm.
scores. So I'm happy for him. That's a huge monkey off his back, and I let's hope he starts potting more and more. And look, it's also Phil Danault stands to get some pretty significant upgrades in terms of his line mates. No disrespect to anybody who's currently here, but I mean, whether it's Texier who drops down to the third line, Dach who drops down to the third line, Patrick
Mm,
Laine who comes and joins on the third line, Alex Newhook in the eventuality that comes and is back on the third line. Like I think Phil
yeah.
Danault is only going to ramp up more and more.
Oh, 1,000%. I actually like that third line. I like him with Gallagher and Josh Anderson. I thought tonight they had a much better game. What was it? Was it the Ottawa game or the game before that? They Dano said we had no chemistry. We did not play well tonight. Versus this night, they did their job. They were great. Dano on a key face off on one of the penalty kills. Uh, then the 5-on-3 happened. Yeah, it's you could tell he was welcomed right away, and it helps when you have Brendan Gallagher and a Nick Suzuki, a Jake Evans, and a Josh Anderson too, to kind of like, hey man, it's great to see you again. Welcome back. There's something great going on with this team, man. I'm telling you, this was a big win against a Western Conference opponent. Another test though coming on Thursday. Like these Buffalo Sabres, man, they're no joke. They're no joke. It's crazy.
I, I will say this much, Sam.
Hmm.
Big test. And I mentioned it earlier in the episode, but the one adjustment that has to happen for next game is Jack Eye has to be back in the lineup. Uh, there's there's no
Hmm.
question about, unfortunately, and it's not to, you know, step on a guy or kick a guy when he's down, but it would be completely unfair to say that Jaden Struble had a great game. I think he lost the puck at the blue line 2, if not 3 times tonight. He blew
Yeah,
a tire once that led to a
yeah.
2-on-1 that
That
ended up Lane
stupid
Hudson
blue
ended up
line.
getting
Yeah,
yeah, that blue line really had a say in this game, but all that to say is, like, Jaden Struble, unfortunately, again, you're out of the lineup. That's what's bound to happen to a player. That's why it's never good to be out of
yeah,
the lineup, and that's why you wanna have your regulars, but at the end of the day, if we're gonna be playing against division rival, we need to absolutely make sure that we have the best possible lineup in place, and by that, in comparison to the hockey that Arbor Jackie's been giving us versus what we saw
yeah,
tonight, that was
yeah.
far worse than any of Jackie's worst games that we saw. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I was a little surprised to hear that Marty made the switch, and I get that at some point Strubal's got to play. I really do, but I agree with you. I just maybe it's because I just like Arbor Jacka a little bit more, but I think he's got to be back in there. game's gonna get physical a little bit too. Buffalo, they're not pushovers anymore. It seems. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think Jack I should be in the lineup. The game definitely needs to go to Sam Montembeault. Last time we faced him, it was Jacob Fowler nets. I think Sam Montembeault is going to take this one. I thought Jakub Dobeš tonight wasn't great. He wasn't terrible. The second, was it the second goal? Okay, he was screened. Fine. The third goal, a bit of a lucky bounce. Like he was actually making saves on that penalty kill. Like he was just sprawling everywhere. It looked like Dominic Hasek at one point. It's like, let me just get a limb or a leg out just so I could stop the puck, do whatever I gotta do to stop the puck. And you love seeing it. So no, happy Dobish got another win, but I think this is going to be a good test for Sam Montembeault to come back, especially again after another division rival. The game against Ottawa, like it wasn't him too. It wasn't his best. He walked away with a W, made a couple of saves towards the end of the game to give them a chance to go to overtime. It's gonna be another big game, man. It keeps getting tighter and tighter in the East.
I think, and not to speed things up, because I mean we can talk about any number of things, but I would say it's fair to say that was a pretty good recap. But you talking about goaltending, I think the Curfew Boys owe it to share their opinion on something big that happened in the goalie world. The goalie fight between the Florida
Yeah,
Panthers.
that was cool. That was cool. I
Oh
liked it.
man,
I liked it.
like to see Bobrovsky just. I
Yeah.
don't know. I've never. He seems like such a kind, gentle human being. Yeah, competitive, but like just I would have never imagined that. But so crazy to
Yeah.
see. It would be fantastic for the sport. I don't care. Did you see Macklin Celebrini
Oh,
smacking on the boards like
they went
glue?
the San Jose bench went fucking ape shit. They went
Yeah,
nuts. They
Nedeljkovic.
loved it. Nedelka was it Nedeljkovic?
Nedeljkovic? Yeah,
Nedel yeah.
Nedeljkovic. I'm screwing up the. I'm pulling a Don Cherry over here,
No,
folks.
that was
Kevin
Jajelkovic.
Biesca. No, but
No, we was when Don Cherry tried to say Alex Galchenyuk. Alex Galchuk Chuck.
Chuck. Well, I have Max Paxaretti over here
Yeah.
on the wall, but yeah, Don Cherry and his infamous pronunciation of names, that was
Oh my
absolutely
god.
horrible. But
It
I
was
bring up the
hilarious
goalie
too.
fight because
That
what
was
would you
great.
give? What would you
Mhm.
give to see Swayman go at it against Jakub Dobeš on Saturday night? Oh my god, that would be like
Oh, dude.
flashback to Carey Price, Tim Thomas, although Carey Price should have
Yeah.
had no mercy on Thomas.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai style.
All I know is that fight between Bobrovsky and Nedeljkovic, it was they were swinging. They were trying to connect. It
Oh,
wasn't it
yeah.
wasn't just a wrestling match. They were swinging to hurt. Dude, I tell you, like this season, a lot. I think season after season, a lot more fights are happening. There's a lot more passion. The passion in the game is back. You love to see it. At least I do. I love seeing it. And out of our goalies that we have, I, I could see Jacob Fowler one day in his career dropping them.
Oh,
I could
absolutely.
I could see Jacob for some reason. I could see him lose his shit and be like, yeah, and like it just let's go, we're going center ice, man. I could definitely see him do it. But between Jakub Dobeš and Sam Montembeault, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Dobeš a bit more. I don't know.
Dobeš is 6'5". I'd
Yeah, he's six
absolutely
four.
love to
Yeah,
see
he's six
6'4".
four.
Okay,
Yeah,
there we go.
that's okay. Um, no, it was 100% great to see that. But I just want to touch up on another point here. I'm curious to see because you mentioned Texie earlier, like when he comes back and all that. Like, let's say he's good to go on Thursday. What do you do? Where do you put him? Who's coming out? I keep thinking about it, dude. I can't shake this feeling. I don't know.
I'm not in agreement, But if I
Hmm.
were a betting man, I think we're going to see Joe Valeno come out of the lineup. If it were
Okay.
up to me, if it's Coach Chris, I'm taking out Brendan Gallagher. I don't care how many people are going to give me flack for that. That's my roster change for the role. I love having Joe Valeno just as an extra guy for the face-offs, left-handed
Hmm.
face-off, and I do think his skating he follows the Canadians' pace a little bit better. But what I will say to that point, like again, I'll put if I'm a betting man, I'm putting it between Valeno or Gallagher. But one thing that I would go a step above and beyond to predict is I genuinely don't see Kirby Dach coming off that first line. I really, really, really think they are going to do everything in their power to give Kirby Dach that opportunity to prove himself. And if he
Hmm.
can't prove himself on that first line, he's going to be trade bait.
Wow. You're going there?
Oh, I'm going there. Texier is not
Okay.
going back on that first line as long as Kirby Dach is in the lineup, or unless Kirby Dach really, pardon my French, but shits the bed and doesn't have his place.
Hmm.
That's how I see it playing out.
Yeah, yeah, I guess I could see that happening. Ish. I don't know. It's tough. It's really, really, really tough with this Kirby Dach situation. I think if they don't trade him, it's a contract year. I think they bring him back for maybe one more year and be like, I don't, one or two maybe, and sign him give him a trade. It's a tradable contract. If it's not working out, man, listen, we'll find you a team that is willing to take a chance on you.
Yeah, I don't want to see Kirby Dach go. I think he brings a lot more value than It's just unfortunate. It's injuries.
Hmm.
It is absolute. Like if one day Caden Gooley gets another one or two
Yeah,
serious injuries, I
he's
wouldn't be surprised that the Canadians I'm not talking about actively or proactively think about trading him. I'm just starting to think like we don't want to have guys on the sideline. But anyways, I don't want to get rid of Kirby Doc. I definitely don't want to
no,
get rid
no.
of Caden Gooley, but it's gonna start factoring into decision making. And I think if Kirby Doc can't do it when he's healthy and continues with the injuries, like he's more of a risk to have in the sense that you depend on him to play a role. Unless Kirby Doc suddenly you say, look, you're a third liner, you're no better than that, which I think is bullshit because I think Kirby Doc is a lot better than a third liner. Definitely see him as a second liner, and I think his ceiling can even be up to a first line, maybe not center anymore, but at least the first.
Yeah,
I think it's a possibility that he's a first line winger. I think the chemistry that he's going to have with Suzuki and Caulfield is going to be there almost instantly. He has to get his touch back. But again,
agreed.
Kirby Doc decisions will have to be made because he can't we're talking about going to get a winger, a top six winger. Well, if Kirby Dach can do it, then hey, we don't need that top six winger. If if he can't, then we do. If he can, then we don't. And up to him to prove it. And if he's going to have to prove it, they're going to give him the best possible opportunity to do so. And that's why I think he stays on the first line right up until trade deadline. That would be the only thing that would potentially change.
Well, I think taking away the center ice position and the responsibilities of being practically a 200-foot centerman, I think it's going to ease him a little bit. I think it's going to make him a little bit more comfortable to play, just to keep his game simple. Actually, I really, really think that could be a possibility. At the best times he's looked for this team is when he was at wing. The first year when he was a winger for Sean Monahan was a centerman, and then at one point in time he was on the line with Cole and Suzuki, and he looked good there too. So to me, this makes sense. It's just, is it fair to give, or to, I'll use the word demote, but it's not really demoting. Is it fair to demote Texier from that line after pulling a bit of a performance like he has recently? That's something I'm questioning right now. I I could see a good line. Believe it or not, I could see Texier going on the third line with Dano and Anderson.
I
I could
like
see
that.
that happening.
I like that a lot. I really do. I was gonna throw out another name, but the guy is struggling to no end. It's Zach Bolduc. Would have even been you could have an all French line. I know
I
they're
mean,
all left-handed shots, but I prefer Anderson. Don't get me wrong. I much prefer Anderson
but you know
with
what?
Texier and Dano.
Yeah, but I actually like Bolduc tonight on the fourth line with Valeno and Evans. I thought in the first period, like they really did they create chances? They had good puck possession in the offensive zone, especially in the first period. And I thought a couple of times they looked pretty good, the three of them.
I don't disagree, but I'll tell you who disagreed. Marty. Marty at the end of the game cut Bolduc right out of the line, and he had Slav in his place.
Oh yeah, that is true. I remember seeing that. Yeah, Bolduc 10 minutes and 57 seconds. I think he was the forward with the least amount of time. 10 minutes 57 seconds. Gallagher was the second least forwards with 11 minutes and 55 seconds. Valeno and Oliver Kapanen 13:54, 13:24. That's because the penalty kills a couple of times. You know what? Oh, sorry, Josh. How did Josh Anderson only get 12 minutes and 11 seconds? Quite a few power plays too for the Canadiens.
Yeah.
Here's a question to you then. Do you Oh, okay, Jimmy. Oh my God. If Doc doesn't pan out on line one, what do you think of Anderson on line one? Jimmy. They've tried that many times, Jimmy. It just I don't see it working again. Not they tried it out when Josh Anderson was playing a little bit better than where he's at now. He had a bit more of a significant role than the one he has now, which is doesn't make him less significant this season. I don't think it's gonna happen, Jimmy. They've tried it in the past. It hasn't worked. My honest opinion, it's a good question, but my honest opinion, I don't see that happening. I don't know how you feel,
Uh,
Chris, about it, but
I I definitely agree. I think Anderson for his time, whatever time he's remaining with the Canadians, I definitely think he's going to be bouncing between the third and fourth line. I do still think that he can have a very significant role in the playoffs, if you will, but I just
Mhm.
don't see him. Like Texier is going to go up before when Newhook's back. He'd have likely dibs on going to
Mhm.
that first line before. There's
Mm.
just like two or three guys. I'd even see, like, I hate to say it, but I even see Bulzer getting another chance on the first line before Anderson. So I
Wow.
mean, though there are three guys. So you have Doc, you have Texier, you have Bulzer, um, you have Newhook. Wait, did I just repeat two names? Man, it's been a long day. But Doc, Newhook, Texier, Bulzer, four
There you
guys
go.
before
Okay.
Anderson.
Yeah.
So that's my reasoning as to why I think he's going to solidify that third
I,
or fourth line.
yeah, I don't think Josh Anderson is at this point in his career where he's going to be playing over 17, 18 minutes a game like the Suzukis and Caufields. Mind you, a lot of those minutes come on power plays, but I don't see Josh Anderson being a 15, 16 minute plus player at this point in his career to be on the top line. No, agreed.
There's another and there's another individual to mention. We continue to
Yeah,
forget him, but Patrick
Patrick
Laine.
Lining. Yeah, no,
Patrick,
I
like,
trust me, I haven't forgotten. And while I was answering Jimmy's question, I'm there. I'm like, I don't see Josh Anderson, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like, but and I've been asking myself this question in my own head. Do I see Patrick Lining? Dude, I don't know. Even him too. Like, I don't. Oh my god. Okay.
well, what I said about Doc, if Doc doesn't
Yeah.
pan out, they might wanna give Patrick Laine some time on that first line. They
My
might wanna
only
give him a shot.
my only issue is, and it's the issue that everybody has regarding Patrick Line, it's his speed.
Mhm.
But what he does have that most other players don't is he knows where to be to deliver a shot and a really good one. And I think being with Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield, those are probably two of the best guys that could do so. I want to say Ivan Demidov is probably another player that could find Line A
Mm.
is stuck in a crowd of behind 20 people. He's still going to feed him the puck, but you can't touch that line. Like that's one line you can't touch anymore. Demidov, Kapanen, and Slavkovsky line, you just can't touch that line. So and look, our boy Rob, sad to say, Liney will be traded. I get the feeling too, man. I get a feeling maybe at the deadline, some team that just needs a boost on a power play, retain 50% of Liney's salary. That's only going to cost the Canadiens 4 point whatever $1 million on the cap. Maybe in doing so, you get a second round pick, the one that we lost that we lost, the one that we gave to LA for acquiring a Philip Dano. Maybe you could do that.
Can
Uh,
I
I
propose an
mean, I mean,
alternative?
I mean, Kiefer Sherwood got traded for 2 second round picks. Go for it.
So I'm just trying to check Cap or Puckpedia very quickly
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
see whether or not we have any cap space at the moment. I think we do have the cap space. So the alternative proposal is as follows. Keep mentioning like Doc finally just came back, but
Hmm.
you still have Newhook, you
Hmm.
still have Line. Who else is coming into the lineup that's injured at this moment in time?
Just those two. Those are the only
It's
two that are
just those
remaining.
2 now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so, again, I'm just and well, let's also say Texier because I'm going in accordance with tonight's lineup.
Hmm.
So, Texier definitely has his spot or should have a
Well,
spot
because
in the
he's
lineup.
because he's not on the IR. Texas is still considered regular on the roster.
So, what I'm getting at here is there's an alternative. We
Hmm.
continue to say, "Oh, we have to go get a second line winger. We have to go get top six forward. We have to go get this, that, the other." The cap space as it stands, even with guys on out out on long term injury, you have Texier. Well, he's not one of those guys again, but you have Line and you have Newhook coming in. I think one of those 2 can definitely be a top 6 forward. Maybe not the size that you want in the playoffs for Newhook,
Yeah,
if one wants to argue that,
but good
fine.
speed, but good
But
speed for
but
for.
that's great. That's not good speed, that's great speed, and if like, again, if we take a step back and you're going into the playoffs with all of those guys, like, everybody's healthy, you have good guys, like, I'm talking about good players scratched. All under the cap. We have too many players, so yes, somebody would have to go. But I mean, we're more likely looking at a guy like Blais. We're more
Hmm.
likely looking at a guy like Veleno. And at that point in time, all I'm saying is like, do we really need to make a trade? There might be guys that we lose to waivers. There might be guys that get sent down to Laval, but we also like. If you ask me, you have a hell of a good team. Yeah, 1-0 Laval. There we go.
Speaking of
Thank you,
speaking of
Elias.
Laval,
But, all that to say is, like, you have a third line that could arguably resemble a second line. That's just my opinion. But if we start talking about whether you know what, like, whether Slavkovsky shifts back up to the top line, I don't think that's gonna happen. Whether Texier goes to the top line and Dach goes down, you can have a third line of Dach, Patrick Laine, and Philip Danault. On the fourth your fourth line might be Jake Evans, Alex Newhook, and Josh Anderson. Like, the lineup is not. I know I shouldn't be getting too far ahead of ourselves. We're at game 50. Game 50 has officially been played, but
already.
32 games from now, you can have a hell of a team, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to trade a player. I don't know if it's going to make all that much sense, and if you're going to want a guy sitting out as long as that, and hence the trade talk actually comes up. But the Canadians also too, it could be the complete inverse. They can make an argument not to make a trade at all. That's just
I
my opinion.
I'm still of the belief though that Blais and slash or Valeno will get claimed on waivers. If that's the risk they're willing to take, then yeah, we probably won't have to do the trade. Elias just asked, will we trade Line soon though? I see Patrick Line getting traded at the deadline if both parties know that he's not coming back. That's my belief. That's my personal opinion. If it doesn't happen, it does. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna pull at Anthony and his situations. If this doesn't happen, it means this. If they don't trade Patrick Laine by the deadline, it doesn't necessarily mean he's coming back with the Canadiens. But I just personally think his days are numbered with this team. Just because I'm thinking of Michael Hage that's coming. I'm thinking of
Mhm.
Zorowski, who you know, we're freaking out about Ivan Demidov, but Zorowski might beat his numbers in the KHL, and it's easy to say that because Zorowski didn't have a stupid coach like Demidov did in the KHL, but that's a whole other issue. Who would I offer him? What would you offer for him though? Because you're going to be retaining salary, you'll have no choice, and this is all hypothetical. It's to a team that just needs that extra boost on a power play. Is it a Minnesota? Is it a Colorado? Is it Vegas? They keep fucking acquiring players like it costs them nothing. Who else am I thinking? I want Patrick Laine out of the East. So who can I think of? Which teams can I think of in the West? Like
The
yeah,
Edmonton Oilers. Could you
dude,
imagine?
dude, you never know. Like I right now, dude, the Pacific is so freaking. It's like it's so weak. Like right now, like the Ducks are taking that third spot in the Pacific, and the Ducks and the Canadians, they're at the same level of rebuilding, more or less. So I'm actually happy to see the Ducks really competing. Yeah, could it be the Oilers? Could it be the Ducks? Could it be my God, San Jose Sharks that are making the wild card? Like I said, they got a hold of Kiefer Sherwood from Vancouver. I mean, I could possibly see that. I could hopefully. I want to say that if the Canadiens do trade him, it's to a team that has a very good chance at a cup. I think Kent Hughes is a respectful enough general manager and human being to give that to a player. I truly believe that. Am I onto something or am I way off in left field? Probably. There's a very good chance I am. I'm just going with that. I wanted to bring up another point regarding Zachary Bolduc. I think he's a player that you could healthy scratch maybe a game or two and let him watch the game from up above. Maybe get him to watch a game at an angle that could probably maybe he could see things differently, get a bit of a different perspective that could help him, maybe improve something somewhere. A lot of people are like, well, why not send Zach Bolduc down? He doesn't have to clear waivers. He doesn't have to clear waivers until he plays 160 games. So I'm on Puckpedia right now, and if you click on Zachary Bolduc's, you click on his name or you click on the waiver exempt link right next to his name. It gives you a list of all the players that don't need to clear waivers, but here they also give you. I'm going to see if I could share this screen. Actually, this might be a good idea. Hold on a sec. Just give me a couple of seconds here. I might be able to get it right over here. Okay. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So if you see here, I don't know if you see my cursor, but Zach Bolduc
Yep.
is exempt from waivers. Either he plays it's in his fifth season that he's going to have to clear. This is the most important one, though. Games played. 153 NHL games. He's at 153 NHL games. As soon as he reaches 160, he has to clear waivers. So there's only 7 games remaining for him. So if management is looking for a decision of whether they should send him down or not, just to get a bit more seasoning or maybe regain his confidence, they got to make that decision real quick. And how many games are left? Actually,
In the season, there are 32. Before Bolduc is
one,
waiver
two, no,
eligible, 7.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, the
These,
Olympic break is what you're looking for.
you know what I mean? Do they let him play if they let him play those games at the end of the Olympic break, once he's back, you can't send him down anymore ever. That's a
Hmm.
big decision. That's a big decision to consider. Um but
Very.
yeah. No, but it's I every day that this team advances and the injuries keep coming back, it's just another question mark that hopefully gets answered in regards to this roster. But like tonight's game, especially with Doc back, and I'm not saying Doc is the sole reason for this, but with him back, and you looked at the 12 forwards, it's like, what is this depth?
Hmm.
Like I felt for what, like, not for once, but from start to
First time in a
finish,
while.
I felt so comfortable with this lineup. Like from the first line
That's
down to the fourth.
but that's why I'm saying before, Sam, like, Newhook's not back. Laine
My
can
God.
still be put into this lineup. Texier is gonna be back. We already have Blais scratched.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna have one hell of a deep team
Don't forget, Bled was not on. Bled was claimed by Toronto.
by Toronto, yeah.
Don't forget, he was claimed by Toronto. This is why I just don't think they're gonna risk losing. I don't think they're gonna do it. I don't think they're gonna send them down twice now.
Yes and no. Like, I actually really like Samuel Blais. I really do. Like, I truly value what he's bringing to the team, that physicality. I like him on the fourth line, and I do
Hmm.
think that he's better fit for the playoffs in comparison to several players. Like, I
Yeah,
would take Blais in the playoffs before I would take Veleno, just as an example. But all that to say is I do still put, whether it be Laine, whether it be Newhook, whether it be
yeah.
Texier, I put those guys ahead of him.
Just to give everybody a an idea of if everybody's back and healthy, 16 forwards plus 7 defensemen. That's 23 players, and then 2 goalies, 25. So two guys are going. You can only have 23 guys on the roster. 2 guys are going. It's just gotta happen. Uh Final subject, Chris, before we wrap it up. Yeah, no, I like these next 2 comments. Can we rush Hage, please? This guys, oh my god. I know I keep repeating myself, but to brand new audience members, man, you need to hear this. I don't think Hage is coming to Montreal this season because we have too many guys. I think he's going to get a pro level contract. I think he's going to go to Laval like Jacob Fowler did last season. I just don't see him coming much because there's just too many guys. But I like Rob's question too. Maybe putting in a package trade. Maybe. Maybe.
Frankly, I'm not starting this shit, Sam. I'm just telling you who was in the
Yeah.
building.
Who was in the
Um,
building? Was it a scout or another
general,
GM?
another general manager of the one and only Pittsburgh Penguins.
Okay.
It's I'm just you know what? I'm not gonna
in,
I don't have much respect
in the words of Cartman, "Fuck
for
you,
Kyle.
Kyle.
Yeah, well,
We had a deal,
that's
Kyle."
well, that's the thing. Could you not see a guy like Patrick Laine fitting in Pittsburgh? Could you not see a guy like Kirby Dach fitting well in Pittsburgh? I'm
Send
not,
those
and I
two
and
for.
I don't think it's I really don't think it's Crosby. I
No,
think
it's
it might
not.
be a question of even draft picks. Like, Montreal
It's
has too many players. Too many. You can't trade a
mm,
player for a player unless you're going to get somebody who's far superior. And you're like you said, Roberto, unless you're putting a package together. But again, you're not going to start selling everything across the board for one guy. I highly doubt it's Crosby as much as I want to fantasize about it being him that comes this way. It's not going to be the case. So at the end of the day, anyways, there are going to be more scouts. There are going to be more recruiters. Anybody who's anybody in the NHL, it's not going to be very long before they start to sniff around and say, "Oh man,
wow.
Montreal has is overloaded."
How the hell does Carolina have all this cap space? Because I'm thinking maybe you could send. How the hell do
Did you
they
hear
have all
who
this?
Carolina's eyeballing most recently?
No, who?
Elias Pettersson out of Vancouver.
Oof,
And
my
guess
God,
who the Vancouver Canucks apparently like?
from Carolina?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I think they like Jesperi Kotkaniemi.
Yeah, think of the mole. It's KK that they really like.
They could, my God, if they do, if they pull that trade off, so they can have him.
Trade Veleno for
For
cannolis.
cannolis, I could go for a cannoli right now. Okay, final subject, and then we're gonna call it a night. Last week, not one but two teams retired numbers. The Boston Bruins retired Zdeno Chara. Ugh. And Detroit finally retired number 91, one of my favorite players growing up, and one of the reasons why I love the number 91, Sergei Fedorov. Uh, Beyond deserved. Fedorov, yeah, okay. I'll give you this, Elias. As a human, I respect him, 1,000%. So Daniel Chara on the ice was a piece of shit, but apparently off the ice, he is a fantastic human being. Does a lot. I don't know if he continues to do a lot for the Boston community, but he did, back in his home country too. Guy runs marathons, rock climbs. He's insane. He's insane. The guy's an animal. But anyways, back to Fedorov, please. Uh, one of my favorite guys to watch growing up as a kid, and that Detroit team in the '90s, even 2002, before salary cap came in, they were a stacked, disgusting team. And just Fedorov, he was just a disgusting player. And I don't know if anybody or any of you have seen the Russian, I think it's called Russian 5 documentary about how the five Soviet players, your Kozlov, Fedorov, Larionov, Fetisov, and oh my God, oh my goodness, I'm having a brain fart. Anyways, Konstantinov, there you go. The five of them came over from the Soviet Union, and they just took the NHL by storm. Sergei Fedorov was the first one to do it, and if you could only imagine what it was back in the day, if you think political shit is going on now, like even back then, it was bad, right? So we don't even know the
Just
half of it.
watch an old episode of Coach's Corner, and you'll get a taste.
There's that too. But anyways, all that to say is congratulations, Sergey Fedorov. Congratulations to Daniel Chara too. I'll give them both that. It got me thinking, boys and girls, who should the Montreal Canadiens retire next up in the rafters at the Bell Center? I have a few names in mind. I definitely have the three most realistic ones that I can think of. Um, and I love already the names that are the names that are coming in, which is
The name
the
that's coming
the
through.
name the name that keeps coming in, and it's an obvious here. It's an obvious. Everyone 31 should be retired in Montreal. Price. For all the biased reasons in the world, boys, I agree with you. I He needs to get in the Hall of Fame first, though. I
Yeah.
think let he needs and then even once he's in the Hall of Fame, I still have three more numbers that deserve to be up there. There's another number that I want to see up there too, but that will never happen. And then there's Carey Price for me. But I'll give you the three names, Chris. I'll start with the three names I got here.
I guess the guy who's
Sure.
never gonna get retired? I'm
Yeah.
thinking that you're thinking Saku
Mm-hmm.
Koivu.
1,000%, buddy. I hate the fact that you know me so well. Saku Koivu was the captain of my generation, I guess our generation. Most of the Curfew Boys, you're the youngest member here, but all of us like that. Watching Koivu in the late '90s, and then him going through cancer, coming back the way he did, he was our guy. He was our captain, and the fact that he's ranked 10th overall in Montreal Canadiens history amongst points, and he's tied with Jean Beliveau as the longest serving captain of this Montreal Canadiens franchise. I personally would love to see it happen. I don't think it will. And unfortunately, he will never be in the Ring of Honor because you need to be a Hall of Famer to be in a Ring of Honor. But you never know. Maybe one day, if it's Molson or whoever that still owns the business, the team, maybe they'll think about it. Can you take any other guesses as to who I'm thinking of?
I have 2 other guys, so Price would be my number 1 lock, but like you
Mm-hmm.
said, Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Another guy might be the last Montreal Canadiens captain to win a Stanley Cup, Guy Carbonneau,
One
and
thousand
potentially
percent.
another guy that you're thinking, but they would have done it had it been the case. Could make a case less so of that with Andrei Markov. Those are probably the 4 names.
Mm.
So Price, a lock. I think Guy Carbonneau has the credentials to make it to have his number retired, but it's not necessarily a hard pressing matter. They might want to let Caden Gooley wear that number for a little bit longer before thinking about
Whoa.
retiring 21. But
Yeah.
definitely Koivu and Markov could have like Koivu far more than Markov.
Mm-hmm.
Like a huge difference, but those are the guys that I would think. But Carey Price, I mean, Carey Price did everything except win the Stanley Cup. He gave away his own health for this team to win. He won at every other level. He was the best goalie of his generation. He was the best goalie for about 15 years in the NHL. He never had a team in front of him. And what Carey Price not only the teams that Carey Price was never given. That is one of the biggest hockey crimes that was ever committed, and I'll leave it at that. So I don't know if I'm leaving off any names, but like Carey has all of my attention. He's front and center for who deserves to have their number retired first and foremost. But yeah, there's a case. Maybe
Yeah.
there's a case that you want to make for other players.
Well, you hit the nail on the head with Price for starters, but yeah, Guy Carbonneau is one of them that I'm targeting. Just two Stanley Cups, Selke Trophy winner, Hall of Famer. Where does he ranked in points? He's ranked 20th overall in the history of the Montreal Canadiens with 547 points. Oddly enough, Andrei Markov surpasses him with 572, tied with Guy Lapointe for most as a defenseman. So I could see why you would think Guy Andre Markov should be up there. Two other guys that I have up there that were part of the Montreal Canadiens dynasty in the 70s. I actually have Jacques Lemaire up there.
Okay.
I think his number 25 should be up there. Uh Seventh overall in terms of most points in Montreal Canadiens history with 800 and 35 points. Um he's got what? He's eight Stanley Cups as a player. He's got a. I think he's got another. Does he not have another one with the New Jersey Devils? I believe the 1995 Devils. All that to say is like he was a significant member of that Montreal Canadiens team, and I think his line mate that should be up there, one of the best goal scorers for the Montreal Canadiens. At least I think now that the number is really available, Steve Shutt,
Oh, shut.
20
Yeah.
22. I really think his number, I think he deserves to be up there. The last player to score 60 goals for the Montreal Canadiens. Yeah, I especially now that Caufield switched to number 13, I really hope they do this sooner rather than later. Uh, I've met Steve Shutt actually. Unfortunately, that same summer where Guy Lafleur passed away, I had met Steve Shutt in the same. He stays in the town I live in. He stays in the town during the summer, and then he he dips. He gets away from this fucking winter snow and stays in Florida. Uh, Great guy. Spoke to him briefly. Told me a couple of stories about Maurice and Char back in the day that would visit them because of his brother, right? Because of Henri. So great guy. I really, I just really believe they got to do this soon. Jacques Lemaire too. Like I said, he was part of that line. He was part of the Guy Lafleur, Steve Shutt line. Jacques Lemaire was their centerman, and 8 Stanley Cups. That's no joke. That's quite an achievement. So yeah, and then of course, Carey. Like I really think Carey Price. They got to make the exception for him. He never won a Stanley Cup, but he brought us to the finals. Best goalie in franchise history. One of the best goalies to ever play the game. You know, I mean, if he never got injured, he'd be top 10 in wins, probably even above the 10th place spot. So I really hope, first of all, I hope he gets in next year's ballot for the Hall of Fame. And once that happens and his contract is over and he officially retires, I hope Jeff Molson. I'm gonna say this. I hope Jeff Molson does the right thing. It's not an angry statement I'm making, but please, Jeff, please
Do right by Carrie.
do it right. But yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much it. I don't know if you have anything else to add before we wrap it up, Chris.
Let's leave it on
All right.
that line.
Do it for Carrie.
Do right by Carrie. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Well, guys, 4-3 win over the Minnesota field for I don't know if we got technical difficulties here yet, but
It's a little bit, but you're back.
I'm back. Yeah, it's perfect. I think that's a sign from the podcast gods that yeah, call it a night. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, if you've watched us live on YouTube or Twitter, also known as X, thank you so much. Please click like and subscribe. It is absolutely free. You could follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on other social media platforms such as Instagram, TikTok, and where else? And yeah, Twitter, also known as X. All of our episodes available audio platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or any podcast platform. And last but not least, we would love to thank our sponsors, Mike's Barbecue Rub, Habs Cave, and Les Délices La Frene. Fourth victory, Montreal Canadiens over the Minnesota Wild. Thursday night, Revenge night against the Buffalo Sabres out the Bell Center. Hopefully, it is. Hopefully, we see you all there. We should be back. We might have a special guest for you all that night. Go Habs, go. Big win. Go Laval. We'll see you all then. Until then, bye
Bye
now.
now.
Good night.